Welcome back to Bowl Game Radio with Bruce Binkowski and Mark Neville on San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bowl Game Radio here on the mighty 1090 and the San Diego Bowl Game Media Network. And a reminder that Bowl Game Radio is brought to you in part by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better. And MJE Marketing, creative, connected, and always curious. Visit mjemarketing.com.
Now let's talk National University Holiday Bowl. Monday, December the 30th, Qualcomm Stadium, 7:15 p.m. kickoff. Arizona State taking on Texas Tech. Tickets on sale every day, window B at the stadium, or go to holidaybowl.com.
And we're going to start with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and very pleased to have joining us, believe it or not, all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, the radio play-by-play voice of Red Raiders football, Brian Jensen. Brian, welcome to the program. You're on with Bruce Binkowski and Mark Neville.
Well, thank you. Glad to be with you.
So you really are in Sao Paulo, Brazil?
I really are, yes. Down here for a little business.
A great connection. This is Bruce Binkowski. Hey, Brian, let's talk about head coach first before we talk about the season. Cliff Kingsbury, 34 years old. It was a star quarterback at Texas Tech. Now he's a young head coach. How has he done in season number one?
Well, I think he's done a great job. I mean, I think the expectations of having a first-year coach come in as young as he was to step in and get off to a 7-0 start was beyond anybody's belief. And even though there was, the letdown of the last 5 games, the realization of what he had to go through in those 5 games with the injury situations and, some of the other intangibles that he had to deal with, I think he dealt with all of that very well. And I think you'll see a team that comes into San Diego with expectations of doing some good things there because of what they've been through.
And not only is Cliff Kingsbury the head coach of the Red Raiders, on the coaching staff is a legend, really, in Holiday Bowl lore. We have Sonny Cumbie, who back in 2004 played against the Cal Bears, finished the game with 39 for 60 for 520 yards and 3 touchdowns. Can you let us know what Sonny's up to now?
He is licking his chops to get back to the Holiday Bowl, the MVP of that game, and just, really thrilled about the way things have turned out. He is one of the offensive coordinators for the Red Raiders, does a great job with, assisting with the quarterback situation, the play calling, just getting the team ready offensively. Very, very good offensive mind, and is a tech person through and through, and that's really the case with several of the coaches on this coaching staff that Cliff Kingsbury has put together. I think another uniqueness to what he has in Lubbock and what he has been able to bring to Tech.
We're talking Texas Tech football as they get ready for the National University Holiday Bowl Monday, December the 30th, taking on Arizona State. Brian, you mentioned the injury factor for Texas Tech. Is the injuries, are they getting better, I guess is my question. Are they turning the corner there?
Well, time certainly heals a lot of wounds. Unfortunately, there are a handful of them that it's going to take more than time. It's going to take surgery and things that, you're not going to be able to do between the time that the season ends and the bowl game. So there are a few that will be able to play to a lot better capability or even be able to step onto the field that couldn't at the end of the season because of the time. There's going to be a few, though, that will still have casts, will still have things that, will inhibit their play a little bit. I do think, though, that most of these came on the defensive side of the ball, and that's where you saw the real change in Tech's demeanor over the last 5 games and the way that they were able to perform. I do think that you're going to see enough of the returning players, though, and enough of their health come back to where you'll see a little bit more, I would expect, of what you saw in the first 7 games than what you saw in the last 5.
Who do you consider to be the leader of the team on the offensive side of the ball?
I think it would probably be Jay Samaro, the tight end that was just named first-team unanimous selection to the All Big 12. He's a guy that led the Big 12 in receiving. Huge. He's a large specimen at tight end and plays with his hand off the field most of the time. So he's a stand-up slot type of receiver as well as a blocking tight end. But he's a fiery guy. When he gets a few passes caught in a row, you see him jump up in the air and start, really getting the offense charged. And he's a guy that they can ride his shoulders. They can really do whatever he does and be successful because of it.
We're speaking with Brian Jensen, a veteran sportscaster, and covers Texas Tech football for.
And that makes me sound old.
21 years it says here. So you've been around a while. Hey, Brian, I got a question. What was the attitude of the team? If you were around, you may have been traveling somewhere around the world, but were you there when the selection was made and the team was told you're going to San Diego to play in the National University Holiday Bowl? Any reaction from the team when you heard that?
Oh yeah, the reaction was great. I mean, again, the expectation of where Tech could have ended up ran the gamut of 2 or 3 different bowls, including the Holiday Bowl, Houston, and the possibility of bouncing as high as the Alamo. But the reality was, if they could get into the Holiday Bowl, they would be absolutely thrilled about it. The experience they had in 2004 was terrific. They loved every minute of it. Obviously, the way the game turned out was sensational. It's still one of the bowl games that is talked about in Lubbock. Tech went to the Insight Bowl and had the biggest comeback in bowl history. That one is obviously talked about. But the way Sonny Cumbie and Trey Haverty, who's also on the staff with the Red Raiders now, the way they performed in that game, the talk that went into it from the Cal players, and then being able to do what they did, that's something that it's Tech lore now. And so to be able to come back to that bowl game and to be able to perform against Arizona State, a team that they respect highly, I think it's just a great opportunity. And they saw it, they felt it, and they were extremely excited about it. Still are.
So now the National University Holiday Bowl is coming up on December 30th. And Arizona State has a pretty darn good defense and an explosive offense. What do you think Texas Tech will have to do to get the job done?
Well, they're going to have to do a couple of things. One, they're going to have to tighten up the defense that did cause some obvious problems over the last few games. That's pretty obvious. The second thing they're going to have to do is just execute. Arizona State is a formidable opponent on defense, but the reality is that if Tech can put their offense in the hands of their skilled receivers and their quarterbacks can be efficient, they're going to be able to score points. I mean, the expectation that a team from any conference is going to be able to just completely shut them down is pretty unrealistic. So the reality is that they really do have to figure out a way to get Arizona State's offense off the field, a few 3-and-outs here and there, get the ball back to their offense and see if they can't just do what they do and turn that into an opportunity to be able to outscore the opponent, which at this point is really what Tech's all about.
Brian Jensen joining us all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, talking Texas Tech football. Thanks for joining us tonight on Bowl Game Radio. We're looking forward to seeing the Texas Tech Red Raiders coming to San Diego, and we'll see you in about 3 weeks.
Well, it's good to talk about the right kind of football after being down here and seeing that other one.
That's right.
For so long.
Yeah, that's American football all the way. Brian Jensen, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate the call from Brazil, of all places.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, that's the first time I ever talked to anybody in Brazil. So the National University Holiday Bowl, Monday, December 30th. And when we come back, we're going to be talking
a little Arizona State football when we return on Bowl Game Radio on the mighty 1090.